Hello and welcome to another JJAM.Gaming video on 7 Days to Die. Today about cities, maps and all that sort of stuff. Now the maps are going to vary in size and scale, and we'll concentrate on random gen. Now Nav's game, there's plenty of documentation out there which is going to tell you exactly where all the POIs and secrets are, where it's a static game. Random gen is all over the place. It depends on the world name that you give it. There are separate rules, separate things, so go check that out online. But you can watch your favourite YouTubers. Usually they post what their world is called, and then it'll be an identical map seed. Okay, that's how that's worked. Now cities are always going to be there in the very middle of the map on random gen. So on random gen they're always going to be on the coordinates of 0, 0, so that you're guaranteed to have a hub city right there in the middle. There can be more than one hub city on random gen, but it is quite rare. You're more often going to get towns with multiple POIs in, or smaller crossroads on the main roads, which will have various POIs, hotels or passing gas and that sort of thing. But cities will always be, like I say, right bang in the middle. So that's good to know about your maps. Moving on to some of those POIs. So those POIs can vary. It depends on your luck as well as to what spawns in the cities and the towns. But you can have things like working stiffs, where you have all of your, or an awful lot more of your hardware. So your axes, your pickaxes, your tool and die sets for the forge. That sort of really good stuff. Here I've got mechanical parts as well as repair kits and that tool and die. You can find calipers, but really I promote the trader. The traders completely overlook them for multiple playthroughs, but they are incredible. Have a look. The Cracker Book stores are really handy as well, so that's where you get an awful lot of schematics. Even car parks with an awful lot of cars. The cars have some quite valuable loot in them, really, and you can break them down. This one, for the eagle-eyed viewers, was a Shotgun Messiah. So that's where you're going to get a lot of your gun parts. And then Shanwei Foods, so one of the weaker of the main POIs, I think. You can get your foodstuffs in there, your seeds and bits and bobs, but not that great. Cracker Book again, like I say, for the schematics. There's also a bit of leather in there as well, so if you come across those in the town, break the leather up on the sofas. That's going to be far easier for you if you need your animal hide poncho, or if you need leather for your bellows, or anything like that, sort of early game. I definitely recommend breaking up those sofas or couches to get the leather rather than attacking dogs and things like that, especially in higher difficulties. They're insanely difficult. But those are some of the schematics there that we're reading as decent. But you got all sorts of other POIs like popping pills and passing gas, where there are all sorts of different perks and benefits. So keep an eye out. POIs are pretty interesting. Maybe mark them on the map with waypoints. Then actually moving on to waypoints, so we got a nice little overview of a section of my base defences there. Went very overboard on the spikes, but this was just my get to know the game sort of mode. But here are the waypoints. These are a number of caves that I've marked. I've got traders on there. I've got other little settlements and things. Down the bottom left are going to be your shared markers, so what other players have shared with you if you're on a multiplayer or a private multiplayer world. They can share waypoints for you down there, which is really handy to mark in traders or other points of interest that they come across in the map. The quick mark or the quick waypoint is red flag. That flag is only visible to you, and you can only have one of them at a time. But then, yes, those markers, the permanent ones, if you like, are the other option there. And they can be marked down, whatever one of those icons. You can make them public, you can make them private, you can zip to it on the map as well. Like the quests, you can fast travel on the map icon, on the map location, which makes it really handy. They're really good little mechanics. It's just sort of a nice quality of life thing that we've got in there, and it really helps out. And as you can see, it actually moves around on the compass there as we move. So it's quite good, really. It is quite good, and it gets bolder the closer you get to it. So it can be very faint, or maybe not on the compass when you're very far away, but as you get closer, it gets easier. Now the multiplayer menu, so this will be on the touchpad on PlayStation or the select button on Xbox, but this is what it looks like. So this is a list of our JJAM.Gaming members, and you can add allies there on that column. It has other information about voice and map and show and track. Track is what I find really, really helpful. Again, it marks it on your compass, it marks it on your map, so it just helps you coordinate, keep track of people, and multiplayer, it's playing with friends, and that's what we like to do. On maps as well, so it depends on your spawn rates on your world, but also supply crates. So supply drops, they are going to drop usually, if you've got default settings, every day at 12 p.m. And they'll be marked with a big orange flare if they're a relatively new drop, okay? And you can see the parachute just dropping in here. See on the compass there, the little orange or yellow supply crate marker? So it's really quite easy to see. You get lots of medical supplies in here, magazines, gun parts. It's actually one of the few places that you're going to find sniper, AK, SMG, and rocket launcher parts, or even completed models. But really quite good, particularly just to create that stash of medical supplies. With treasure then, so you get treasure maps from looting, trash bags and sort of low end or low, so this is all the bags that people will oversee, or you get them from zombies. So if you've got a cheesy horde base, you should be able to pick up a couple of these every so often. But the treasure map, if you open it, read it like a quest, you can accept it. On the quest log there, we clicked to show me on map. It's just showing us where it is. So let's fly over and get it. So we're trugging along, nice and quick. And just be careful, general tip, when you're flying around the world like this, just be careful of where you're going. There's a number of times I've done just this, where you don't see that big cave coming, and then sploosh straight in the drink, and it's the right pain to get your mini bike out. So a bonus tip, I suppose, instead of digging your mini bike out, try not to if you can help it. Slap down chest, empty the mini bike inventory, then dismantle the mini bike, pick up the chassis, and just go craft it somewhere else. And then go back to the chest and go get all your stuff again. It's going to be 1,000 times quicker than trying to dig the way out, which I've done multiple times before the penny dropped and I started dismantling the bike. Here we go. This is going to be attempt number 2 because I spent an entire day trying to dig out my mini bike. But let's fly along and see where we can get to this treasure. So you can see when we approach the treasure location on the compass, it started flashing red. So that gives you the indication that you're within the vicinity of the treasure. You see it's white there and then flashing red. Now, we do have the treasure perk that helps zero in on the treasure. It's quite broad at the beginning, but then with each perk it gets smaller and smaller and smaller, which is really handy. The important thing about treasure, it is a bit of a gamble. 9 times out of 10, you are going to get a good amount of dukes. And duke tokens are fantastic. Like I say, I underestimated the value of the trader before, but it is incredible. I love the trader now, and treasure maps are one of my favourite things to find on zombies. I think that with all the weapons crates and things like that, you can get gun parts, but so for zombie drops, one of my favourite is going to be the treasure map, just because it gives you that cash injection to go to the trader, spend it on chains, or spend it on guns, spend it on bandit armor, which I've recently started getting in the trader. It's incredible. I absolutely would recommend traders, and please don't underestimate them. They're brilliant. Fantastic that we got them in console edition just before they stopped updating the game. Now if we look here, we're still digging, but it's not going to be long until we find our loot crate. There we go. Alrighty, there we go. Just dig out a little bit more, and then let's have a look on the inside. I was a little bit worried that something would happen, so I dug out a bit more. But there we go. Right, so we got some 7,000 dukes, a bunch of magnum ammo, and a sniper part. That is a good haul, really. The quality isn't fantastic on the sniper, but really, it's better than nothing. So we gotta love that, and the dukes are going to go a long way. 7,000 is good. So that's going to be a couple of bits of armor, maybe a chainsaw, depending on the quality level. But that one, we can buy things like the beer schematic and go get our hop seeds and craft beer, craft coffee, craft medkits, craft all of these things that we can sell back to the traders to make a profit. I also spam craft things like hunting knives or sledgehammers overnight when I'm mining, and I can sell those to the traders as well. Gas as well is a really good one, and we just build up those dukes so we have plenty stashed nearby in a locked chest or a hidden chest, so we can then go to the trader and just buy up all the good stuff when we see it. Machetes I have a massive issue with on my world. I still haven't found one in the wild or from a trader, but they can be found from a trader. So really, treasure maps are fantastic. That's how you use them on the map and the compass, and definitely use them for the trader. But that's it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed a bit of a rundown on maps, cities, treasure, and all those sorts of fun things. We do have a number of videos coming out and already out, so give them a like, give us a subscribe. We'd really appreciate it. And we'll catch you on the next Jam Gaming video.